Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome to the RPG YouTube channel, and welcome to the first ever episode of Building Raw. And today we have a good one for you. This is the very first episode of Monday Night Raw, and I think it's going to be pretty cool to be booking up and building Raw from 1992. I canceled all the shows they had, and I just put Monday Night Raw instead. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting for you guys to see me build up Raw from the very first episode. And yeah, I think this should be pretty fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the series. So we kick things off with the pre-show match. The Legion of Doom defeat the Beverly Brothers in 447 when Animal pinned Blake Beverly with a Doomsday device. Good stuff. Real good stuff. As we head into the main show, we kick things off with Mr. McMahon. So, the first ever episode of Monday Night Raw kicks off with Mr. McMahon, and he welcomes everyone to Monday Night Raw. So he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am the chairman of the WWF, and I am going to make a contenders series tonight where we will crown the vacant WWE champion. As the championship is now vacant, we will crown a new champion here tonight. There will be two contenders singles matches, and the winners of those matches will face each other in the main event tonight for the vacant WWF championship. The contenders matches tonight will be Hulk Hogan versus Psycho Sid and Ric Flair versus Randy Savage. Best of luck to the competitors, and like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw." So we kick things off pretty strong here. We have the Contenders series going on. I mean, what a bigger way to kick off Monday Night Raw than crowning a new WWF champion. I think that's a big way to kick off things. And we have 17,000 people here tonight at Madison Square Garden. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this a lot. I think it's going to be a pretty good show for you guys. So Mr. McMahon announces that he's the chairman, because I'm pretty sure it was Jack Tunney who was the authority figure at the time. But I said, might as well use Mr. McMahon because, to bring some reality into the series. So he announces himself as the chairman of the WWF, as he's not in commentary anymore. So I mean, when I opened up the save, he wasn't on commentary. So I just said, why not? This is the only thing that makes sense. So he says that he's the chairman, and he really was in real life. So he announces the championship contenders matches, where there'll be two matches, and the winners of those matches will face off in the main event. And so yeah, I think that we should have a WWF champion. I mean, I would be cool with waiting till Royal Rumble, or even longer than that, but I think we needed a big way to kick off Monday Night Raw as it's the first episode. So I said, why not put the WWF Championship on the line here tonight? And we have a pretty good match set up for the first ever match on Monday Night Raw. It's Randy Savage versus Ric Flair, which would be a killer match in real life. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that match does in the game. And it's coming up next. So let's see how it does. A 90. A 90. So yeah, this lived up to the expectations as you get to 90 here. The Nature Boy Ric Flair defeated Macho Man Randy Savage in 1952 by submission with a figure 4 leg lock. Savage with an 85 and Flair with a 93. And apparently Roddy was pretty weak at the announcing desk. Might have to change that. But yeah, what a bigger way to kick off Monday Night Raw than at Madison Square Garden and Ric Flair versus Randy Savage. That's just a big match. As Flair will wrestle another time here tonight against the winner of Hulk Hogan versus Psycho Sid. I wonder who's going to win that match. And then we have a post-match interview where Ric Flair's like, "Woo! It's time! It's time, baby! Tonight is going to be the night where Ric Flair finally wears the WWF Championship gold. And tonight, whether it's Hulk Hogan or Psycho Sid, I'll be strutting down that aisle and I will hold up the WWF Championship by the end of the night." So Ric Flair just cutting a promo here tonight on Hogan and Sid, because he will face one of those men in the main event tonight for the vacant WWF Championship. Good stuff. Then we have a Psycho Sid promo, and the game started off with him as Sid Justice and him as a face, and they also had a storyline with him and Hulk Hogan where he gets mad at the fans of Hulk Hogan for chanting his name. So he's just tired of the Hogan chants. So, and I'm keeping the storylines because we have to have 5 storylines with 65 heat. And I was gonna like to kick things off with the series, kicking it off with those kind of storylines. It'll be pretty difficult to build that, and so I'm just gonna keep the storylines because they already had good ratings. So I was just gonna keep them and just build off of them. So I'm keeping the Hogan Sid storyline, and I just changed Psycho Sid to Psycho Sid, if you feel what I'm saying. And so turn him heel. Got an initial grade. Okay, his lunatic gimmick got a great. But how did the turn go? Complete success. Alright, cool. So everything went well, and I'm pretty sure we have Hogan versus, yep, we have Hogan versus Sid coming up next. So right here in this promo, he's just like, "Hogan, I'm tired of hearing all these fans week by week chanting Hulk Hogan. So tonight, I will face off against you one-on-one, and I will take what's rightfully mine by the end of the night, the WWF Championship. And I won't hear Hulk Hogan anymore. I will hear Psycho Sid." So he's just cutting a promo on Hogan. He's tired of hearing the Hogan chants, and will he stop Hogan here tonight? We'll find out in the next segment. 70. Yeah, I expected this match to do bad. That's why I didn't give it a lot of time. But Hogan with the 72, though, that's disappointing. And about to had fantastic heat and decent wrestling. Hogan defeated Sid in 6:58 by pinfall with the big leg drop. Sid with the 65 and Hogan with the 72. Hogan is really off his game. Okay, so hopefully he'll be on his game in the main event tonight when he faces off against Ric Flair. So we could have a really good main event for the first ever episode of Monday Night Raw, which will be for the WWF Championship. So decent match here, a 70. Well, not as good as the first match, which got a 90, which is 20 points higher, which is nearly an 100. So this one did pretty decent though. Not bad, but expected better with the match with the franchise player Hulk Hogan. Then we have a backstage segment with Paul Bearer and Jake the Snake Roberts, and he says, "Oh yes, Jake the Snake, if you want to work with..." No, that's not what he says. He says, "Jake the Snake, if you want to get Randy Savage down, if you want to take him down, then you should work with the one and only Undertaker. And if you want to win, if you want to take down Randy Savage once and for all, then he is who you have to take down. He is who you have to win with. He is the Undertaker, and only him and you can once and for all take down the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Oh, yes! Alright, I'm never doing that voice again. But, so he shakes hands with the Undertaker after the match, the segment. He shakes hands with, okay, yeah, Jake the Snake shakes hands with Bearer, basically saying that, okay, I'll work with the Undertaker to take down Savage. And so I don't think they really did segments like this back in the day, like backstage segments, but it's Monday Night Raw, and I want to do something fresh and new. So maybe this could be something fresh and new we bring to the table here on Monday Night Raw, backstage segments, and it makes it more fun than just doing an interview and a promo here and there. I want to do something fun. So yeah, that's why we did this one instead. Then we have a Bret Hart hype video, Bret. The whole 9 yards, the Bret Hart music and the Bret Hart being the Intercontinental Champion. So this video is just hyping up Bret Hart here. So good stuff. I dig it. Hopefully you dig it too. And then we get into a decent match. In a decent match, Haku defeated Bret Hart. Yes, you heard that correctly. Haku defeated Bret the Hitman Hart in 12:36 by submission with an Asian spike. Bret Hart with the 73 and Haku with the 49. And the storyline has advanced, but it lost heat. Haku seemed off his game. Yeah, why did I have Haku go over? I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if anybody could beat Bret Hart, it would be Haku. I mean, the guy was a legitimate savage, and I don't think they ever really did anything with him in the WWF. So I want to use him, and I want to push him a little bit, Haku. Because he's a warrior, he's a savage, a real life savage. So I want to push him. So now he's got something going on with Bret the Hitman Hart, who happens to be the Intercontinental Champion, who he has defeated here tonight on the very first episode of Monday Night Raw. So good stuff. And then after the match, as Bret Hart is making his way back to his feet after getting hit with an Asian spike to get the victory for Haku, he gets laid out with a vicious attack from Haku, proclaiming himself as the top contender for the Intercontinental Champion after a dominating performance against Haku. I mean, we kept Bret Hart strong, so it wasn't a dominating match. It was a good back and forth match, but he just laid him out after the match. So now Haku is practically the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship now. So good stuff. Oh wow, I was expecting this to do better. Okay. Hogan has been having disappointing segments. This is kind of like Randy Orton in the World War II series a little bit, because he's the franchise player and he's pulling out a 71 promo, when in real life this would probably be like what, high 90s. I mean, Hogan's promos were legendary, like they were hype. So he says, "Now let me tell you something, brother. I went against Psycho Sid here tonight, and I went one-on-one with him, and we went toe-to-toe for all the Hulkamaniacs out there, and he said that the fans won't be hearing Hogan, Hogan, Hogan. They'll be hearing Psycho Sid. But tonight, I proved him wrong after I hit the big leg drop, and now the fans all over the world will still be chanting Hogan, Hogan, all the Hulkamaniacs out there. Dude, me doing these impressions absolutely suck. Not gonna lie, like it's actually kind of cringy, but whatever. Everybody does it on the YouTube series, like on their YouTube series. So I'm trying. I'm really trying, but I just kind of suck. But you know, it is what it is. So yeah, Hogan's like basically, let me tell you something, brother. I'm walking out of here tonight with the WWF Championship. Practically, practically. That's what he says. So good stuff. Good stuff from Hogan. And I'm pretty sure the main event is coming up next. Yep, the main event is coming up next. So a short 1 hour and 30-minute episode of Raw, but I'm going to change it to 2 hours. I just put it not an hour and 30 minutes, but I'm going to change it to 2 hours so we can have more matches, more angles and stuff like that, because there's a lot of people who we have not used in this episode, and we've only had 4 matches. So we're going to raise the timing up to 2 hours so we can have a longer show for you guys. So let's see how the main event does. Let's see this. 82. It wasn't a 90, but it was an 82. And the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, defeated Hulk Hogan in 2005 by pinfall with a surprise cradle. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, wins the WWF Heavyweight Championship. In real life, Ric Flair wins the WWF Championship at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view this month. But in the game, he wins it in the very first episode of Monday Night Raw. So good stuff. So Flair wins the championship in real life. Flair wins the championship in the series. So cool. Flair is the champion with the very good 93, as Hogan with the disappointing 79. And after the match, Ric Flair celebrates becoming the WWF champion. A big celebration for Flair, but he's still a heel. He's just celebrating. He's just like, you know, the music. And Flair holds up the WWF championship. And it's just a really nice scene, you know. A new champion. It's not Hogan, it's Flair this time, you know. It's, you know, a new champion, Ric Flair. Cool stuff. He's going to carry this company to, he's going to carry Monday Night Raw to higher levels, being the world champion. And I believe in him, and I think he's the right guy to be the champion. I mean, he's Ric Flair. He's Ric freaking Flair, my guy. He's the Nature Boy, and he's the new WWF champion. So now we got to see how the show does. How is the show gonna do here? And my headphones just turned off. Excuse me, please. It's because there's no noise in the background. But let's see how the main the main event already happened. Let's see how this show does. Let's see how this show does. Alright, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's see this. A 79. That's pretty disappointing. But it's not disappointing because it's the first ever show. But it is what it is. It was a good show. And we had a great match between Savage and Flair, which should have been the main event, honestly. But we had to keep the storylines going. So, I mean, we still got a 79, which isn't bad, but it just wasn't great. And we lost popularity, but we also gained popularity. So what in the world is going on? You feel me? But it was a good episode. It's only the first episode. That's why the whole series is called Building Raw, because we have to build off of something. And now we're building off of this first episode, and we're building off of Flair winning the WWF Championship. So what's going to happen next week, we'll find out together, because I have no idea. And what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble in 3 weeks, I don't know, but we'll find out together. So that was it. This is Building Raw. This is RPJ, and by the way, I started up 2 new series. I started the Soul Local to Global series, and then I started the Building Raw series. So whichever series gets more views is a series that I'm going to keep. I'm not doing both. I'm doing one of them. I'm either doing Soul or I'm doing Building Raw. So whichever series gets more views, that's the series I'm keeping. Or more likes or whatever. If whatever series does better is the series I'm going to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and this is RPJ. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, for real though, I know everybody says it, but please help your boy out. And I am signing off. Peace.